PGA National has been a terrific place for our conference. The service has been amazing, and we've got over 200 managers here. Again, one of our largest conferences ever. I think we've got the energy behind this program exists to support our club managers, men or women, through the course of time. One of the key initiatives launched at the PGA conference this year is the Strategic Data Initiative in partnership with Club Benchmarking. The association is now collecting key pieces of data, financial and otherwise, that the club managers will use to assist their boards in running the clubs.
Florida is such an animal and how different the markets may be by sub-region or chapter, but looking at the ratios and the consistency in, say, the payroll ratio, the dues ratio, or the net operating result. And again, having that arsenal to be able to bring back to your board to both educate them, but also help drive decisions.
The biggest surprise I think we have in the boardroom is that these people are very sophisticated financial people, but they don't understand the industry and the context. And if you're going to benchmark, you got to make sure it's apples to apples because all clubs count differently. Because a not-for-profit club, most board members have never run, but because they run for-profit organizations, so it's a different mindset.
Talked a little bit about how to remember people's names and the importance of coming up with a visual association that you can tie to that person's name and the way that they look, and that can be really helpful in making sure that you remember that person. We were talking about somebody named Brian. Like, you picture a Brian with a big wet brain on their head, and that makes it that much more likely that the next time you see Brian, you remember that brain and maybe you remember his name. This is a great audience to talk to because club managers are, first of all, encountering lots of people. They have to remember a lot of people's names. They have to remember a lot of information. And so hopefully I was able to give a few tips that might make them more effective at what they do.
Well, I was lucky enough to be the moderator of our panel on agronomy. As far as the main points, a lot of it had to do with communication. How did the agronomists communicate to the rest of the employees? I think the one big thing that I would hope every manager in there who's not already involved in the agronomy team or with the agronomy team, that they understand the need to connect with those people. We talked about just geography that you have at a private club, and the further away you get from the clubhouse or the general manager's office, the less attention you get. And very often, those employees who get less attention become the ones that become most disenchanted or disenfranchised. So we talked about just ways to connect with those teams and also recognize those teams and make sure they feel valued and honored and a real part of the team.
The Ibis Golf and Country Club did an absolutely superlative job at our annual chapter dinner. Again, serving some 300 people with a Cuban theme. Food was amazing. And the music, the cocktails, a little bit of coconut rum here and there. It was a terrific event, enjoyed by everybody.
My message is about how you can achieve more results by doing less. How can you set yourself so far apart from other organizations, from other clubs, or your personal brand to attract new talent and better quality leaders and employees for your organization? And finally, we wrapped it up with our drumsticks, building our own band, encouraging you to buy drumsticks for all of your team members and have jam sessions instead of meetings. I'm Marvelous Mark, and you're not.
So in this election, prior to the change out in the candidates, prior to the two political conventions, there was a real sense of frustration. Voters were very angry. They didn't love their choices. About 20% of voters said that they didn't like either candidate on offer. But over the last few weeks, that's changed. Republicans have become really satisfied with their candidate in Donald Trump. Kamala Harris has really re-energized Democrats. And voters, for the most part, are now feeling excited about the choices that they have, even if they only like one of the two candidates. What's the mood of the country? What do they think about the different candidates? What states are important? What voter groups are important? That's what I dug into today.
Really, the message is all about performance and how do we perform at our highest levels. Number one, you talk to yourself versus listen to yourself. Number two, you focus on your process because the process is fearless. And number three, you lift others up. Attitudes are contagious. You lift them up, they're going to lift you up.
Today I'll be talking about hiding behind happy and how there's such a struggle with professionals, especially in this industry. As a leader, we try so often to just take care of everybody when we are not taking care of ourselves. And so what I'm talking about today is the need to be present and to live an authentic, congruent life. Those things that we say that we want, walk the talk the walk, and be the best that we can be, not only for other people, but for ourselves and for the people that matter the most.
Beth Sargent's been with the Florida Club Managers Association for over 14 years' time and has helped us transform this organization over that time into something very different than when she started 14 years ago. We have professional development, education, mentorship, and camaraderie that has not existed at the beginning. So as we reflect upon her past 14 years, we realize what a treasured participant she's been for us in this organization.